So just so y'all aware, it's so funny because um, they have been showing the judge's court calendar all day today. Yes, today is standard. Welcome in. They've been showing her all these other defendants one by one coming up there and being sentenced or handling different cases. So finally, now I see that Devyn is in the courtroom by herself. He no longer has that blonde, red, whatever kind of hair, that wig that looked like it had been ran over a couple times. She don't have that on her head, which is interesting because I know that was a big gripe with us this last time. Hey, Katie. So interesting to see that she here with this black hair, right? Because boy, oh boy, everybody thought that was her real hair in the last trial. I couldn't believe her wig was that messy. Oh my goodness. So right now they currently have we currently still waiting, but it looks a lot better than it did earlier because I did have a schedule for us to go in here earlier, but when I kept going in here and seeing they were just showing everybody else, I was like, well, I bet not open up the room just yet. So I'm assuming once the judge gets back from lunch or whatever they're doing, that they'll get started. I wonder if anybody's going to speak on behalf of anybody involved in this. That's what I'm interested in. Or is it just going to be she just get up and she getting sent? Because I wouldn't put it past it that that's what happens too. So, but we'll see. What did I want to do? So while they are getting everything together, I am going to play some prior testimony from the hearing that it ran away, got ran over, it got a whole bunch of stuff done to it. And they're like, oh my gosh. So I guess they're just waiting. So I'll keep an eye out on that. And while we're doing that, while we're waiting, I'm gonna go into some. I wonder, is this person gonna speak today? Let me show y'all. Here. Don't worry, I am keeping an eye out on it. So as soon as they put us in the courtroom, we'll go in there. But look at that wig, y'all. I couldn't make this up. Now remember, this is what we name him? I don't know. Was he the boyfriend dad, husband? The hub dad? I don't know what he is. The husband son dad? Was he her stepson? He became her husband.
Sir, please state your full name and spell it.
He became a stepdad to a sister and brother, right? I don't know. Y'all can figure it out. But I'm keeping an eye on it. And as soon as they go in the courtroom, I will take us live in here, guys. I'm pretty sure y'all want to be sitting up there looking at her.
29, sir.
She just sitting there. All right.
What is your birthday?
March 1st, 1996.
What was your relationship to Jonathan Willett?
I was his son.
Do you have siblings?
I have 2 younger sisters.
And what's your mom's name?
Armintia Sanchez.
Do you remember or know when your dad and Armintia split?
I was probably about 9 years old.
When they split, you were 9 years old. Where were you guys living generally? Was it here in Vegas?
I don't remember.
Did you go back and forth between Vegas and California?
Yes, sir.
Quite a bit in your life?
Every summer.
Okay. Did there come a point in time where your dad moved here and stayed in Vegas pretty much permanently until his death?
Yes, sir.
And where was he living in the latter years of his life?
On Paul, Georgia.
Is that with your grandma?
Yes, sir.
Is that Yoko?
Yes, sir.
Did there come a point in time when you were introduced to a woman by the name of Nikki?
Yes, sir.
And ultimately, you end up getting married to Nikki. And we have a lot to unpack here. I'm sorry to air your dirty laundry, but we have to ask a lot of questions about this, okay? When you first met Nikki, was she dating or in a relationship with your dad?
They were dating at the time.
They were.
So it does look like I do see some extra movement in the courtroom, so I am going to put us over there live in court. What's up, SD? I said, let me send her a thing over here in Discord. I know that she not watching the other trial with us. Wanted to make sure that I know you have watched this one. Here we go, guys. Let's see. She moving. Oh, they taking her back to her jail cell. I cannot with them. Oh, they taking her back to her jail cell. Okay, we'll go back into his testimony. Hopefully they'll be back down there soon. Like I said, I'm keeping an eye on it, so I want to make sure we don't miss any parts of it. But here we go, guys.
Were dating at the time?
Yes, sir.
Where were they living at the time, if you know?
I don't know.
When your dad and Nikki were together, did they eventually have children?
Yes, sir.
And is that your two sisters?
Yes, sir.
We don't need to say their names, but what are their approximate ages?
I don't know.
Okay, that's okay. I just need an approximate. So are they right now under the age of 13?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So were you in kind of living with that or anything like that when he was with Nikki?
Yes, sir.
And when they had the children together, were they living together?
Yes, sir.
Do you remember where that was?
Not the numbers, but it was on Blue Magic Street.
Blue Magic? Is that here in Vegas? Before the girls were born, did there come a point in time where you and Nikki became intimate? Or was it after?
It was after.
Okay. So girls are born. Do Nikki and your dad stay together after the girls are born?
Yes, sir.
And for how long did they stay together before they split? When eventually, after the girls are born, do you and Nikki enter into an intimate relationship?
Yes, sir.
About how old were you at that time?
19.
19 years old?
Yes, sir.
Do you know how old she was at the time?
No, sir.
How was it that that relationship kind of started?
I don't know.
Do you remember who kind of, I don't mean to be crass, but like who made the first move or any of that? Okay, it's a long time ago, right?
Yes, sir.
While you were intimate with Nikki initially, was she still dating your dad? Or in a relationship with your dad?
Yes, sir.
Does it embarrass you to admit that in front of a bunch of strangers?
Yes, sir.
Did you continue being intimate with Nikki for an extended period of time?
Yes, sir.
Do you know if your dad found out about the intimate part of your relationship?
No, sir.
And I'm not going to say it a bunch of times, but when I say intimate, I mean sexual. We agree there?
Yes, sir.
Did there come a point in time where you all three lived under the same roof?
Yes, sir.
And was that the Magic House?
Yes, sir.
And is that when the intimate relationship started out?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Well, just so
Now,
y'all know, I
tell
just
me
seen the
if
attorneys
you
like
can
kind of
remember,
gathering in there. She's not
when
back
is
in here
it that
just
any
yet.
of you three
I
move out
am
of Blue
currently
Magic?
still
We need to
kind of
get a
waiting
sequence of
on,
events.
I am
Do
waiting for
you
her to
move
get
out
back in
first?
there, and
Did
then
they
I'll put us
split
back in the
and move into
courtroom.
different places, or
I feel like the judge did
remember
her
that part?
entire calendar call for this
Where did you
morning,
move to?
and I don't think this hearing was scheduled
And where did you stay
in
in
the actual
California, if you
courtroom until
remember?
later today. So that's how we are doing it. How does everything
Was
sound
that with
far as
other
the
family?
sound
Okay.
with my sound right now, considering because I got 2 rooms open. So hopefully everything sounds fine when I'm muting the other room. Okay, good, good, good. Thank you. Thank you, Phil. Um, good, good, good. Okay, so I'm gonna put us back into listening to Devyn, our guy here, where they exposed all his manhood during the trial. Um, all his manhood on the trial, like for real, in all which ways. Once the judge takes the bench, or if I see anything else in the courtroom, then I'll put us live in the courtroom. All right, guys.
Eventually, do you move back to Vegas?
Yes, sir.
Do you remember what year that was?
No, sir.
Okay. When you do move back to Vegas, after moving to Cali, you move back to Vegas. Do you move in with Yoko at the Paladura address?
No, sir.
Where did you move that time?
Back to the Blue Magic.
Okay. Did you then leave back to California for a second time?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And while I stepped one step too far ahead, when you moved back to Vegas the first time, you moved into Blue Magic. Who was living in Blue Magic?
My father, Nikki, and Angela.
The 2 girls?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Was there some kind of discussion with Nikki at that time about being pregnant?
Yes, sir.
Describe that for the jury.
I moved back to California and I was told that she was pregnant with my child, and if I didn't move back, she was going to have that child.
So she tells you this?
She told me that.
So you had gotten out of the situation back in Cali, and you, I presume, talked to her over the phone or something?
Okay, guys, they are live.
She tells you she's pregnant, it's yours.
Live. What she don't get, she took that 15 years, but she didn't.
We are.
All right, just a couple housekeeping matters. State.
This
the
old
victim's
fast
mother
talking
sent a
judge.
Very long detailed list of money she's out of, but I don't have any documentation.
I did
to
not
support-
receive that either.
Okay, so I'm gonna award the $5,000 of restitution to victims of crime, but that'll be the only restitution because there was actually proof of that.
Understood.
Any objection from the defense to that?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, and we did have a discussion about credit, and we have the credit at 780 days. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay. State, you also noticed victim speakers. How many speakers do you have?
2,
And pursuant to statute, would you like them to speak last?
please.
All right. State, since this is the result of a jury trial, you have retained the right to argue.
Yes, Judge, and you've been doing this as long as I have, if not longer. There's a couple of different types of defendants that come before you and that I've dealt with in my career. And there are those that, don't function in society. They commit multiple crimes over and over. And then there are those like this defendant who functioned relatively normally for an extended period of time, but committed such an extreme act of evil when she did commit a crime that you have to put her on the far end of the spectrum of evil, Judge. I understand that her lack of criminal history is something that you're going to take into consideration when you determine whether she gets life without her or not. I really just have a question for the court, and I'm not going to try to provide an answer. And the question is this, is a person who is capable of such extreme evil, is that person someone that we want to walk our streets, whether it's 20 years from now, 28 years from now, or not. And you're in the row, you're on the bench, you get to make that decision today. I would just urge you to think about what it must have taken for her to do what she did. Not everyone is capable of that extreme amount of violence. Not everyone, not even some of our worst offenders go that far. There was some statements made at our last sentencing that I would ask you to take it in context with the evidence you heard at the trial. There is absolutely overwhelming evidence of her guilt, and obviously we have a jury verdict at this point. So all that nonsense that was spewed at the last hearing, I think that has been disproven during the course of the trial, and as evidenced by the very quick verdict that was delivered in this case. If you'll recall, it was just a couple of hours on the same day of closing arguments. With that said, Judge, I will submit it to your discretion. Just defer to the victims.
Okay. Ms. Michaels, what, if anything, would you like to say before I pronounce sentence against you?
At this point, I just feel that anything I say, it won't. The family's looking for certain things, and I cannot deliver what the family's looking for. And they're here, and I just want them to get their, at least part of their anger out. I know no matter what I say, they're still gonna feel the same way. So just let them have their time, and that's all I can say.
Thank you. Defendant?
Your Honor, I like to state I'm going to be somewhat brief. This was a result of a 2-week jury trial. I do appreciate Ms. Michaels' statements and even the lack of her statements. This case has had a bit of a wild ride to get where we are before Your Honor today. You know, the jury, and we all spoke to the jury afterwards, looked at basically one thing, and that was her statement to the police on August 15th. And she has made several statements leading up to this point, and today she's chosen to just basically let the record speak for itself, and then the history of this case speak for itself. You know, Your Honor is in a very unique position, being basically a murder trial judge. The thing that I would like the court to take into consideration is the issue of proportionality. You know, you hear on a regular basis cases that involve years, if not decades, of criminal conduct. People that have substantial criminal histories. People that have committed crimes over and over and over again. Ms. Michaels has a gross misdemeanor conviction that was close in time to this case, relatively speaking. She, outside of the events that gave rise to this case, she's lived a very good life. And I think the court should take that into consideration in reference to this issue of proportionality and treating similar defendants similarly and different defendants differently. I mean, when we look at the object or the goals behind sentencing, we have deterrence, you know, we have incapacitation, we have rehabilitation, and then we get to this issue of retribution. And, you know, the flip side of retribution is redemption. You have a woman that stands before you today who's 47 years old. She turns 48 in April. You've got a woman that was a devoted mother. She had a career. Obviously, what occurred is not going to bring Mr. Willett back. Ms. Michaels' case, if we take the version of events that the state presented, we have here, you know, you talk about stabbings and crimes of passion and things like that. You know, in this case, we don't have someone that's been charged with lying in wait, planning. We don't have a case where we have a life insurance policy that was viewed. we don't have this, and when we talk about evil, I mean, that's kind of a slippery word sometimes. But at worst, what we have here is a conviction based on impulse and then perhaps bad actions that occurred following that. I mean, Your Honor spoke with the jury, we heard the testimony. We had this, and she was charged murder with use. And if we take the evidence in the light most favorable to the state, we have something where there'd been unwanted sexual advances. There was a candlestick or perhaps a poker that was then used to strike Mr. Willett. And I'm using his name. I mean, the decedent, I don't want to minimize, he was a person, obviously, as is Miss Michaels. We have an appeal that's going to follow, but nonetheless, if we take the version of events that the state would have the court take into consideration, we have an act that was based on impulsiveness and then bad impulsive decisions that very well may have followed. Your Honor, and one case comes to mind, I believe it's the Randolph Thomas case. We have a case where there's multiple former spouses, multiple acts. In this case, we have a single act. We don't have this course of conduct that encompassed days, years, or in that case, decades. We have a single act that's now before Your Honor. The very minimum sentence per statute that Ms. Michaels could receive is a 21-year sentence. We're talking 60 years old. And Your Honor knows the studies. I mean, like I said, you're in a very unique position based upon your experience and the depth, not only off the bench prior to your having assumed the bench, but as a murder trial judge. This is a case where the court should look at redemption. She can contribute to the community. She's had no issues whatsoever while incarcerated. In the beginning of this hearing, Your Honor addressed the credit for time served she's been in for some time. I would urge the court to view, to look at the facts and circumstances and the very difficult decision Your Honor has to make with the idea of redemption in mind. I would urge the court to give her, as far as the murder charge, the chance at redemption, the chance to be perhaps one day reincorporated into society. I would urge the court to give her a sentence of 20 with the possibility of parole, and then the minimum sentence for the with use in enhancement. I would submit that this idea of proportionality and true equity and fairness would be served by such a sentence, and that's what we request, and on that I submit it, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. State your first speaker.
Valerie.
You do solemnly swear the testimony you are about to give in this action shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help you God. Please state your full name, spelling your first and last name for the record.
Valeria Willett, Valeria Willette.
And ma'am, what would you like to say to me today?
First of all, thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak out. It's been a while, and I'm very thankful. And whatever I'm going to read is what I lived for almost 3 years.
Okay.
Excuse me. The brutal murder that took place on August 7th, 2023 has forever changed my life, my husband's, and my children's life. I am still in shock and traumatized because of this unbelievable act from someone who is selfish and heartless. About a week after Jonathan's murder, we came across a huge responsibility of taking in 2 young girls who we didn't know, and due to the circumstances, we couldn't say no when all others say they couldn't. My life has changed since the notification of my stepson's death. with us taking in 2 girls without a home, with us taking 2 girls in our home and getting to know them and not knowing of all the trauma they previously had. After the murder, even more trauma was added. It has been a tough 2.5 years for all my family. Grieving has been hard at home, since there were times when I needed to break down and cry, but I couldn't because we had 2 girls who depended on our strength. Along came caseworkers, CASA, Boys Towns, and CAP attorneys who visit our homes several times a month. This doesn't include the process of getting fingerprinted, classes to be able to assist the girls while with us, and therapy for them and myself, husband on weekly basis. The girls did not have discipline, boundaries, basic cleanliness, social skills, and proper hygienes. The clothing they brought from Child Haven was unfit for anything except playtime. I contacted their stepfather/brother, Davier, to see if we could pick up more clothing, and those were not much better. We ended up spending a lot so they could look presentable when in school and out in the community with us. We also had to deal with Casey, our daughter, who was in senior year and fell into depression, making it hard for her to be in school and caused a lot of absences. It was a huge change in her life, having to deal with 2 young girls with so much trauma, and Casey graduated in June of 2024. It has been very hard on us since no other relative has assisted us in caring for the girls, only my immediate family members, which are my adult children. We have now built a relationship with Aunt Kayla, the killer's sister. She stopped by while she was in Las Vegas on business, and we had a great conversation, and she departed as a supportive aunt. Because of this meeting, the girls have changed their minds of what kind of person she is. We will continue to nurture this relationship with Aunt Kayla and the girls. Through Jonathan, we have gained a true friend who has supported us, especially me. We grieve together, and Bernadette has also lost a best friend. We talk, cry, and express our sorrows about how a person was taken away so brutally. We cannot bring Jonathan back. God has gained an angel in heaven. We believe he is watching over us and the girls. I ask today for justice for our family, especially the girls, because we have been sentenced for life with this tragedy. This will follow them for the rest of their life. We've created a time capsule for them in therapy where they can place notes or items that they can open in the future to remember their journey. We will never again hear his voice, his laughter, or see his expression. Jonathan doesn't have a second chance. His life has been taken, never to return to us. The girls have been left without a dad, stepfather/brother who doesn't make contact with them, and a mother who's in jail. After my marriage of 14 years, I have come to know Jonathan. Although we didn't have a close relationship with him, I miss his jokes, laughter, and him being funny. He would come around on holidays and enjoy our time spent with him. Thank you for allowing me to speak about the situation, and I am seeking the hardest penalty in this case. The killer that ended Jonathan's life needs to be put away forever. Thank you.
Thank you very much, ma'am, and thank you for being here today.
You do solemnly swear the testimony you are about to give in this action shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Please state your full name, spelling your first and last name for the record.
James Willett, JamesWillette.
And sir, what would you like to say to me today?
I have a prepared statement
Okay.
that I would like to have you listen to.
Okay, whenever you're ready.
May I have a seat?
Sure.
Your Honor, I must apologize as I'm uncertain of the appropriate name to use. Tracy Reed, Tracy Tavares, Tracy Baker, Devyn Michaels, Nikki, or Nikki Fairchild. But for clarity in this context, I will refer to her as the killer and murderer of my son, Jonathan. This horrendous murder crime has affected her two precious children, myself, my wife and my children in the household, my wife's mother, my wife's brother and sisters and their families, my ex-wife and her boyfriend, my remaining son, my grandson who married her, his mother and family, her parents along with her sister's family, and anyone who knows us or we're friends with Jonathan. We have all been given a life sentence by a woman who doesn't respect life. She has removed from our lives my son, her daughter's father, her daughter's stepbrother, and all related individuals that were just mentioned. The enduring loss of opportunities to communicate with Jonathan, witness his achievements, and provide guidance is permanent. This absence is not limited to life without parole. It is not replaceable. Each day serves as a reminder of this lasting impact which will persist indefinitely. Regardless of the duration of her sentence, we continue to experience an ongoing sense of loss that will endure throughout our lifetimes. Our circumstances remain unchanged, and correspondingly, there should be no alteration to hers. As we grapple with the magnitude of what has been lost, we find ourselves thrust into unfamiliar roles and responsibilities, forced to adapt and preserve in the face of relentless adversity. The routines we once knew have vanished, replaced by an ongoing quest to provide love, safety, and guidance for young lives so suddenly uprooted. Our whole household has become a place of both deep sorrow and determined resilience as we navigate the labyrinth of legal proceedings, therapy appointments, and daily challenges that arise from a tragedy of this scale. The weight of grief is compounded by the necessity to advocate fiercely for our grandchildren, ensuring their emotional and physical needs are met, even as we contend with our own sense of devastation. Despite the overwhelming nature of these circumstances, we are steadfast in our pursuit of healing and justice, propelled by a profound sense of duty to honor Jonathan's memory and to safeguard the well-being of those he cherished most. The tragic passing of my son, Jonathan, has had a profound impact on many individuals, including his two beloved children, his mother, our family, all relatives, the killer's parents and sister, as well as friends and acquaintances of his. We have all received an extreme life sentence, not a 15-year to life term. We have no parole. We just the knowledge and the heartbreak of his loss. Life has taken away my son, her daughter's father, her daughter's stepbrother, who is also her husband, and all others mentioned. The opportunity to communicate with my son, appreciate his life, witness his achievements, and provide support through advice is permanently lost. Every day we are reminded of this irreversible consequence. Nothing will change in 15 years, 20 years, or even our lives. Regardless of any duration served by the killer, Jonathan will not be returned to us. His actions are permanently ceased, and his voice will remain silenced forever. We are enduring a lifelong impact until the end of our days. This situation remains unchanged for us and thus should remain equally unaltered for the killer. We are consistently reminded of the serious impact of the killer's action on her life. Each day, the killer's daughters wake up to the reality that their father is no longer part of their lives, preventing them from sharing any experiences or creating memories with him. They experience significant long-term effects due to growing up without parental support, relying on grandparents, relatives, and others for assistance during a limited period before achieving independence. We are optimistic that they will understand they are not responsible for these circumstances and their future choices will help them avoid entering this system. Despite this, they will carry the burden of their mother's actions, knowing she has effectively removed both parents from their lives. These events have left two young lives facing significant challenges in their futures following the loss of their father due to her mother's actions. The recent events have been particularly traumatic for our family, especially for the children. My wife and I have attended classes to assist in raising our granddaughters and addressing their trauma. We are supported by caseworkers, CAP attorney, CASA worker, Boys Town worker, therapists, special school classes, coaches, and the daily challenges resulting from the loss of both parents. This situation has impacted everyone involved. We have observed changes in attitudes of our relatives and friends due to this event. Both my wife and I have consulted a therapist for support, which has been beneficial, though the issue remains prominent in our lives every day. We have attended numerous court dates related to both the murder trial and the cases involving the child abuse and termination of parental rights. The significant time spent traveling, communicating with district attorneys, and enduring the anticipation of trial outcomes has severely impacted our mental health and well-being. Such experiences are immensely challenging, particularly when one child is tragically taken by murder, as Jonathan has. As a retiree, I anticipated enjoying my golden years, but now my wife and I find ourselves responsible for raising preteens once again. It is essential to emphasize that while we deeply care for the girls and are concerned about their future, proper medical care and dedicated personnel can help ensure they lead normal lives. We are making notable progress with Janaea, who is determined to improve her life and situation. Despite holding 3 licenses, foster kinship, relative foster home advanced foster care, and professional caregiver pre-service training, we continue to enhance our understanding of the trauma experienced by our granddaughters. These children have never experienced loving discipline, nor had real interaction with others, as they were homeschooled rather than attending school. Consequently, there is a significant lack of etiquette in social environments and personal interactions with peers and friends. This is especially difficult for us in a family setting or gatherings on special occasions. Throughout this difficult and painful experience, our resilience has been tested beyond measure as we navigate the complexities of the judicial system and endeavor to provide a stable environment for our granddaughters amid relentless adversity. The emotional and practical burdens we bear have transformed our daily existence, challenging us to find strength in one another and in support systems available to us. Despite the constant reminders of the loss and the enduring pain etched in every aspect of our lives, we strive to foster hope for the future of our grandchildren, advocating for their safety, well-being, and justice in the wake of such irreparable harm. We have faced countless obstacles in our efforts to piece together a sense of normalcy, persistently navigating bureaucratic hurdles and emotional turmoil while every aspect of our daily existence has been altered. Every future plan reshaped by consequences of a single unforgivable act. The weight of responsibility continues to rest heavily upon us as we advocate for justice and stability, not only for our own heart, but for most importantly, for Jonathan's children whose futures have been so deeply scarred. We are requesting per Marcy's law, the Senate Joint Resolution SJR Section 1, letter G, to reasonably notice of all public proceedings, including delinquency proceedings upon request at which the defendant and the prosecutor are entitled to be present, and all parole or other post-conviction release proceedings and to be present for all of these proceedings. Section N, to be informed of all post-conviction proceedings, to participate and provide information to the parole authority, to be considered before the parole of the offender, and to be notified upon request of the parole or other release of the offender. Section P, to have all monetary payments, money, and property collected from any person who has been ordered to make restitution to be first applied to payment to pay the amounts ordered as a restitution of the victim. As we move forward, it remains imperative that the lifelong consequences endured by our family, and especially our grandchildren, who will endure this crime for many years, are gone, are met with unwavering commitment to accountability and truth. The emotional scars, the logistic obstacles, and the persistent sense of emptiness cannot be erased. But through steadfast support and continued vigilance, we hope to honor Jonathan's memory and instill a sense of security and justice for his daughters. We deeply care for our grandchildren and find it challenging to come to terms with the actions taken by their mother, both regarding our lives and more significantly, those of her children. The impact of this trauma may have lasting life on them. For instance, there is uncertainty who will accompany them during important events such as walking them down the aisle, at their weddings, graduations, birthdays, etc. There are moments in life when one must pause to reflect on one's circumstances. We examine all the known facts and attempt to understand them. The court hearings related to both the termination of parental rights and the criminal case. This planned and calculated murder, and remind it was planned and calculated, is not justified in any way or manner, and the killer needs to be incarcerated for the rest of her life. We respectfully request that the maximum penalty behind bars without parole be imposed for this heinous crime. We consider the act of killing and decapitating the father of the killer's children and husband to be egregious and extremely severe, and should be met with extremely severe punishment. We trust in the wisdom of the court to recognize the full impact of these actions on all parties involved, and to deliver a resolution that both acknowledges the depth of our loss and upholds the principles of justice upon which our faith now rests. Thank you for providing me the opportunity to share my perspective on this criminal murder. I now defer to your judgment on this murder case.
Thank you, sir, and thank you very much for being here today. Well, I think when Mr. Draskowitz said it's been quite a roller coaster that got everybody here, I think that's quite an understatement as to how we got here. But I did preside over this trial for 2 weeks, and I was able to hear all the evidence that was presented by the state, as well as I was the judge when this case was originally negotiated in a settlement conference, and then Ms. Michaels wanted to withdraw that plea and proceed to trial. And the jury has ruled, and we all have to respect the decision of the jury. But I have to say, and I think Mr. Willett said it best, and as well as so did his wife, because one of the biggest concerns that I think we should all have as we deal with this is the fact that these children are going to be left without either one of their parents. And it's not any fault of theirs, it's not anything that they played a part in, but as well as everything that they had endured up to this point. And now, Ms. Michaels, based on your actions, they are going to be left without either one of their parents. Pursuant to the jury's verdict, you're going to be adjudicated guilty of first-degree murder with use of a deadly weapon. In addition to the $25 administrative assessment fee, your DNA was taken in 2022, so it's waived. The $3 DNA assessment fee, you're going to be ordered to pay $5,000 in restitution to victims of crime. You're going to be sentenced to 240 months to life in the Nevada Department of Corrections. There's going to be a consecutive 96 to 240 months in the Nevada Department of Corrections for the deadly weapon enhancement. And as of today, you have 780 days credit for time served.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Draskovich, your office will be allowed to withdraw at this point. Mr. Brown, we are going to appoint you as appellate counsel so that you can file the notice of appeal. Yes, if you could put it. Thank you.
Darn, she talks so fast. I don't know what she got. Do I gotta rewind it and slow it down? I ain't never seen a judge where I gotta slow down what they saying. She get on my nerves. I'll tell the judge that because I don't want to be here. Let me go to the back. I gotta slow this down. I don't know what she said. Shoot. All I know is Michael should have took the 50.
Provide information.
Told her to take
Statistic,
it, and we wouldn't even be
parental
sitting
rights,
here.
and the criminal case. Parental
Golly, she get on my nerves.
and should answers.
Let me see.
We
if I
examine all the known
don't know what this lady said. This judge talks so fast. Good grief. Other people want to hear too, Judge.
facts and attempt to understand them. The court hearings related to both the termination of parental rights and the criminal case. This plan encountered the act of killing
Well, I think when Mr. Draskowitz said it's been quite a roller coaster that got everybody here, I think that's part of an understatement as to how we got here. But I did preside over this trial for 2 weeks, and I was able to hear all the evidence that was presented by the state, as well as I was the judge when this case was originally negotiated in a settlement conference, and then Ms. Michaels wanted to withdraw that plea and proceed to trial. And the jury has ruled, and we all have to respect the decision of the jury. But I have to say, and I think Mr. Willett said it best, and as well as so did his wife, because One of the biggest concerns that I think we should all have as we deal with this is the fact that these children are gonna be left without either one of their parents. And it's not any fault of theirs, it's not anything that they played a part in, but as well as everything that they had endured up to this point. And now, Ms. Michaels, based on your actions, they are gonna be left without either one of their parents. Pursuant to the jury's verdict, you're gonna be adjudicated guilty of first-degree murder with use of a deadly weapon. In addition to the $25 administrative assessment fee, your DNA was taken in 2022, so it's waived. The $3 DNA assessment fee, you're gonna be ordered to pay $5,000 in restitution to victims of crime. You're gonna be sentenced to 240 months to life in the Nevada Department of Corrections. There's gonna be a consecutive 96 to 240 months in the Nevada Department of Corrections for the deadly weapon enhancement. And as of today, you have 780 days credit for time served.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Drummond, your office will be allowed to withdraw at this point. Mr. Brown, we are going to appoint you as appellate counsel so that you can file the notice of appeal. Yes, you could put it.
Macro, did you get it for us? Okay, 240, 20 divided by equal 96 equal 240 equal 8 years up to 240 again. Oh, oh gosh. So that you never ever. You should have took the 15 years. I don't know what she was thinking. I don't know what she was thinking. And for those that think that she was wearing a wig, she was wearing a wig. I don't know who thought she wasn't wearing a wig, but she was wearing a wig during that court hearing. I knew it was a wig. Well, 8 to 20. So you saying that she can get out in 8 years? Maybe she did do good because she don't have to do 15. She can just do about 8. That's cold blooded. I don't even know what to say for that one. James said no. I got it wrong. But she can go off. She can go off for parole in 8 years, right, James? Oh, she got to do the first. Oh, she got to do the first 20 to life first. She might be out in 26 years, basically. Oh, well, no, she should have took the 15. God, stupid. She knew what she did. I think that's what made me mad about all of this. She knew what she did. We didn't know what she did, but she knew what she did. And I guess that's what gets to bothering me because you know in your heart of hearts of what's going on. So why would you sit up there and act like you don't know? So for those that were watching the other trial, if you want, you got it. Another boom. Not when they offering you that deal, like good grief. So I know over here we're watching the young man's testimony that we had on this case prior to us going into the courtroom. I mean, it's totally up to y'all if y'all want me to play that. I know some people were watching. We were on break from the school one. They are back from break, so I will drop the link in this room if you guys want to head over there to go back to watching that. Let's see here. Let me out this one. Okay, here we go. So here's the link if you guys want to watch the officer in the Uvalde trial that's currently on trial for 29 counts of abuse and neglect. You guys, I don't know if y'all want to watch more of this of his testimony. I'm more than happy to play it. I was just playing it to keep us into the sentencing. Such a goofy. Hey, Christine, how are you, hon? Yeah, I don't understand why she went to trial either, Macro. I can't I don't really get it. And they still just showing the courtroom free, but I'll put this in here, and as long as people want to watch it, I'll continue to play it. And then if not, then I'll close this room down.
And unless you come back, she is going to have the child.
Yes, sir.
What did you do in response to that?
And,
Did you witness her go to a doctor?
no, sir.
Did she tell you anything about that child she claimed was yours?
She told me that she had gotten abortion.
But you never saw any documentation
No, sir.
or anything like that? Okay. So you're pulled back into the situation, you're back here in Vegas, and then you move out again to California.
Yes, sir.
When you moved back to California that time, do you remember your dad, Nikki, and the girls still staying at Blue Magic together?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So then you go back to California, and when is it that you return?
A couple of years after that.
A couple of years?
I believe it was
Okay.
years after.
And you spoke with Ms. Griffith and I last night, right?
Yes, sir.
We talked about, I'm going to ask you some questions, and if you don't know a date, you estimate, but don't guess. We're in agreement there, correct?
Yes, sir.
So you're doing your best with the dates.
Yes, sir.
When you moved back this time, were the girls living with Nikki and just Nikki?
Yes, sir.
Where was your dad living?
Paul Bear Drive.
Where did you move to?
Paul Bear Drive.
So you lived with your dad?
Yes, sir.
Who else lived in the home?
Yoko and Yoshida.
Is Yoshida Yoko's partner, friend, boyfriend?
Yes, sir.
They're elderly folks.
Yes, sir.
Look at there, shout out to Christine.
When you lived with
Been
your
in the
dad,
drama
how was
drop
your
docket
relationship?
for 1 month, up in the Sweet Pea gang. Yay, Christine.
You worked with them too?
Yes, sir.
Doing what?
Anything and everything.
Okay.
From moving houses to setting up backyards.
Moving houses, setting up backyards? Okay. So let me ask you kind of a general question before we move on. Is it fair for me to say that your dad was in and out of your life growing up?
Yes, sir.
Did you have a strong relationship with your dad as you're getting into your late teens, early 20s, or was it just kind of a, that's my dad and don't see him too often, or what?
No, I love my father, so we had a strong relationship.
Okay. Did there come a point in time when you're living with him at Paladura and working that you guys have some disagreements about work and other stuff.
Yes, sir.
Would you consider your dad to have been a hard-headed person?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Was he an opinionated guy?
Yes, sir.
Did you ever tell your dad that you had been having a sexual relationship with the father of his other children?
The mother, you
The mother. Jesus, I said the father. Yeah,
No, sir.
I apologize. Knowing your dad as you did, if he had known you were having a sexual relationship with his mother of his children, is he the type of guy that would have just said nothing and let it go?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So you never tell him. I don't want to ask an obvious question, but why not?
I couldn't go with the courage to do it.
Okay. Eventually, do you move out of the Paladur?
You can't hear him? Okay. And I'm sorry, sir. Your voice is, thank you so much. Your voice is just really soft. And we're gonna see if we can fix this. Sir, can you just like say test for me?
Oh, test.
Can you hear him better now? Okay. Go ahead, Mr. Giovanni.
Thank you, Judge. Oh,
Nobody can be held in contempt.
all right. I'm gonna keep that one in the back pocket. So you eventually move out of Paladura.
Yes, sir.
Dad stays, Yoko and Yoshida stay.
Yes, sir.
Where do you move?
To 5510 Porcupine Rim Street.
Did you move in with Nikki?
Yes, sir.
And I've been saying Nikki. Did you know Nikki by several different names?
Tracy, Devyn, and Devyn. Those three.
Tracy, Devyn, and Nikki? Okay. Is Devyn spelled Devyn? Devyn?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Did you, after moving out of Paladura and into Porcupine Rim, resume your sexual relationship with Nikki?
Yes, sir.
Were your sisters living there, or was there some kind of custody arrangement? Or was that later?
That was later.
Okay. So when you first move into Porcupine Rim, can you give us a date, a year, an approximate year, anything like that? And if you need to use the date of your dad's death, August 7th, 2023, as a point of reference counting back.
Probably 2020.
Probably 2020.
Actually, I don't know.
Okay. So you live at, can we agree that you live at Porcupine Rim at least a couple of years with Nikki?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And during this time frame, I'm going to ask you some very specific questions. Did there come a point in time when the family court became involved in the custody of the children?
Yes, sir.
Did Nikki lose custody of the children?
Yes, sir.
Was this before or after you married, if you remember?
After.
So after you married Nikki is when the custody thing happened.
Yes, sir.
Prior to that, were the girls living with you and Nikki at Porcupine Rim for however long you were living there?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And Dad, to your knowledge, is still living across town?
Yes, sir.
Okay. When Nikki lost custody of the children, did they move back in with your dad?
Yes, sir.
And to your knowledge, did they live out at the Paladura address?
Yes, sir.
Do you know how long they lived at Paladura with your dad?
No, sir.
Okay. Did there come a point in time in the summer months, just before your father's death, that the girls moved back in with you guys, you and Nikki at Porcupine Rim.
Yes, sir.
Did they stay over the summer?
Yes, sir.
Were there, did they have bedrooms there?
Yes, sir.
And where were you sleeping at the time?
The master bedroom downstairs.
With Nikki?
Yes, sir.
Were there times that you slept on the couch?
Yes, sir.
Did your sexual intimate relationship continue throughout the course of this time period?
Yes, sir.
I hate to air out your laundry, like I said, but I just have to ask it. When you're having this sexual relationship with Nikki, is it a tumultuous relationship?
The definition is over.
Okay. Is there a lot of kind of arguing and back and forth, or you describe it for me?
There was argument back and forth.
Were there times in which you yourself were trying to get out of this relationship?
Yes, sir.
Describe that. How many times, what's going on in your head at this time?
That I tried to fill some shoes that I had no business filling.
Whose shoes?
My father's.
If we could just get a little bit closer to the, it's okay.
So I believe you said that you were trying to fill some shoes that you had no business filling. Is that fair?
Yes, sir.
As a result of that, did you start to get a little uncomfortable and attempt to leave a couple of times?
Yes, sir.
Did there ever come a point in time, and I want to be precise here, prior to you learning of your dad's death, that you learned he was going to move in to the Porcupine Rim address?
Prior, no, sir.
So you didn't know he was going to move in prior?
No, sir.
Okay. Did you learn that at some point after?
I learned after the death when my grandmother was telling me about it.
Okay. Did you talk to your grandma like on the 7th?
The day after, yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay. So I want to now bring you to August 6th, okay, 2023. On that day, were you living at the Porcupine Rim address?
Yes, sir.
Were the girls living there?
Yes, sir.
Was Nikki living there?
Yes, sir.
Do you know or remember what you did during the day on August 6th?
I had woke up and went to work, and I got a phone call from my grandfather saying that my dad was critically injured. And
Okay, let me clarify here. I'm talking about the day before you were notified.
I went to work.
Okay, so you work on the 6th.
Yes, sir.
Do you know what Nikki and the girls were doing that day?
No, sir.
Did there come a point in time after you get home from, oh, and I should ask you, did you drive a work van?
Yes, sir.
Is that the white one that was parked in front of the home?
Yes, sir.
There's another vehicle out front of the home. Whose was that? Not the Nissan Armada, but the little sedan.
Oh, that was my vehicle, sir.
Was that operable at the time?
Yes, sir.
And did you drive it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. The night of August 6th, you get home from work. Do you remember a point in time where you saw your dad at the Porcupine Rim address?
Yes, sir.
Describe that for the jury.
So I just got off work. I was helping with the girls with their homework, and I believe I went into the garage and I saw my father bringing over a bunk bed and a desk for the girls, and his back was turned to me, so I closed the garage door.
So you didn't talk to him.
No, sir.
How was your relationship at that point in time?
We hadn't talked for a while.
At some point prior to that, had he learned that you had actually married Nikki?
Yes, sir.
How was that conversation, or if you had a conversation about it?
He sent me a text message asking me, or saying, I don't know what you're doing, but it's not right. And I responded with half of what you know was true and the other half isn't.
Okay. So your dad clearly knew you were formally married.
Yes, sir.
Do you remember the date you got married?
No, sir.
Did you ever get divorced?
No, sir.
Is that something you would like to do?
After this, yes.
Okay, once this trial is done?
Yes.
Okay. That night when you see your dad moving the girls' stuff into the garage, you don't talk?
No, sir.
Okay. What did you do after that? Did you just go back inside or what?
I went back inside and I continued watching the movie with the girls.
Okay. Tell the ladies and gentlemen of the jury kind of how the night progressed from there.
So I continued watching the girls, watching the movie with them, and Nikki had told me that she was going to go help John move some things, and said okay. So I stayed at the house. We continued watching the movie, and after when the movie was over, I put them down in bed, and I myself went to sleep.
Do you remember where you put them down to bed?
Yes, they had individual rooms upstairs. So I took them upstairs, I had them change into their pajamas, and then went to bed.
Okay. And then where would you have gone to sleep that night?
Downstairs in the master bedroom.
Do you remember texting Nikki saying something to that effect?
I remember texting her, letting her know that I had put the girls to sleep, and then I myself was going to sleep because I was working next day.
You had work the next day?
Yes, sir.
What time did you typically work?
I believe it was 8 a.m. or 8:30.
Okay. So I'm not going to show you a text message, but you remember sending a text message. Do you
Yes, sir.
remember the time of that text message?
I believe it was 10 p.m.
Okay. And so after the text message is sent, do you remember receiving a response from Nikki, or you just go to bed?
I just went to bed.
And if I didn't ask you, where did you go to sleep?
Downstairs in the master bedroom.
The normal place you sleep.
Yes, sir.
When you went to bed, was Nikki home?
No, sir.
And that would be why you sent her the text, correct?
Yes, sir.
Do you remember waking up at any point after falling asleep that night?
I remember waking up around 2 to her getting in bed, and since I work early in the morning, I didn't ask anything of her. I just looked over, I saw her, and I went back to sleep.
This was to you a normal night, right? You would have no reason to ask her anything, right?
No, because if they were moving things around, if they were just working through the night to try to get it all done.
Okay. When you looked over, did you see anything out of sorts about her? I mean, I understand it was a normal night for you, but like, did you observe anything that was different?
No, sir.
Did you go back to sleep after that around 2?
Yes, sir.
Do you remember when you woke up the next morning?
Yes, sir.
When was that?
Around 6 a.m.
Tell the jury how that morning progressed.
I woke up around 6 a.m. and I got ready for work. I'm usually the first one that's up, so I got dressed and I went to work.
Do you remember seeing Nikki or the girls or anything that morning after you woke up?
No, sir.
And do you remember where your job was that day by chance?
I worked at Hometronics, so I was all over the place in my cities.
Okay. And when you're working, do you drive the, work van?
Yes, sir.
When you're on your off days, do you drive the work van or the car?
The car.
Okay. So on this day, can we presume that you're driving the work van if you're doing a job?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I believe you said you work normally around 8:30.
Yes, sir.
At some point in time, do you get a phone call?
Yes, sir.
Describe that for the jury.
It was a phone call from my grandfather saying that my father was critically injured and he's in the hospital.
Okay. Okay. When your grandfather tells you that, what do you do?
I proceeded to call my boss to take off of it.
And did you learn a little more information from another family member after that?
Yes, sir.
What was that?
That he had passed away. I didn't get any information on how he actually passed away. It was just that he passed.
Okay. So initially, the first call, critically injured, but you tell your work, hey, I got to go. You learn after that he's passed.
Yes, sir.
Well, I guess, where do you go from work?
Straight on.
What do you do when you go home?
Started drinking.
Did you drink back then?
Yes, sir.
What do you remember before you started drinking, if the girls or Nikki were home when you arrived home?
No, sir.
You don't remember, or they were not?
They weren't home.
They were not home?
No.
Okay. On that date, August 7th, do you continue drinking after learning of your dad's death?
Yes, sir.
Do you remember the next time you saw Nikki?
I don't. I drank myself to sleep for the next couple of days.
Okay. So is it fair to say those couple days, after learning that on August 7th and maybe into the 8th, maybe the 9th, you're drinking pretty consistently?
Yes, sir.
Is it a bit of a blur for you?
Yes, sir.
Okay. At some point in time, do you remember police coming to the Porcupine Rim home?
Yes, sir.
And did they come inside and they do a full search and everything?
Yes, sir.
Do you remember what day that was?
No, sir.
Okay. I want to ask you some questions about items in your home. At the time you were working for Hometronics, correct?
Yes, sir.
You had the work truck.
Yes, sir.
I presume you had some tools.
Yes, sir.
Were there times in which you had saws and stuff like that?
Yes, sir.
Do you normally carry a saw, or is that something you use for particular jobs, or how does that work?
I had a drywall saw inside my bag along with a screwdriver, a flathead, an electric drill, measuring tape, leveler.
Okay. Is there a safe inside your home, or was there back then?
Yes, sir.
What was that safe used for?
Guns.
Did you have guns?
Yes, sir.
How many do you have, or did you have back then?
3.
You're allowed legally to possess guns, right?
Yes, sir.
So you have 3 guns. Are they handguns?
Yes, sir.
And do you remember having them on August 7th, or was this general around that time frame?
We've owned the guns for a while.
Okay. Did your dad have guns too?
No, sir.
Okay. So you had guns, your dad didn't,
No, sir.
at least to your knowledge.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So try to give us any memory you have, but you don't remember the next time you saw Nikki, but you did see Nikki back at the home, right?
Yes, sir.
Do you remember her being there when the police came?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so at least when we can figure out from the police when they showed up, you saw her then.
Yes, sir.
When is it that you have any conversation with her about your dad's passing?
I believe it was the night that I found out. I was drinking heavily, and I believe she came home and said, "I'm sorry that this happened," and I kind of just wanted to be alone.
Okay. You eventually, during the course of that search of your home, you're interviewed by police, correct?
Yes, sir.
And you understand that was recorded.
Yes, sir.
At some point in time, you give a lengthier interview, correct? an interview.
Oh, yes, sir.
And with that, you understand that was recorded as well.
Yes, sir.
You ultimately learn that Nikki is arrested, correct?
Yes, sir.
When is it, if you remember, that you learned she's arrested for the murder of your dad?
I went to a week afterwards, maybe 2 weeks.
So somewhere in the range of a week or 2 weeks after the actual death.
Yes, sir.
In the interim, before she gets arrested and after your dad's death, do you remain at Porcupine Rim?
Yes, sir.
Do you question what happened to your dad?
Yes, sir.
Are there a lot of kind of unanswered questions you have during that time frame?
Yes, sir.
Did there come a point in time after her arrest that she contacted you from the detention center?
Yes, sir.
And Judge, we would move to admit 631, which is a recording of that contact. No objection. Thank you.
631 will be a minute.
Permission to publish.
Yes.
Call from an incarcerated individual has entered the detention sentence. This call is not private. It will be recorded and may be monitored. If you believe this should be a private call, please hang up and follow facility instructions to register this number as a private number. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? What would you like to talk to? They won't tell me anything. There's some news articles about you, and they're not very pleasant. I was told they're holding me here while they look for evidence. Because they don't have any evidence. They have no murder weapon, no motive, no nothing. They're holding me here to find it. You should have released already. What? You sound like you should have been released already. I haven't gone to court yet. I go to court tomorrow. Okay, well, I'm not even going to try for you. Okay. CPS of the girls. With my grandfather. Are you getting fingerprints so they can go with him as they might go with you right here? So will be your release tomorrow? I should. That's what I'm hoping for. And that's literally what's going on. They have absolutely, yes, they have absolutely nothing on me. They showed me a picture of a bottle of soft scrub cleaning detergent. And they said, you have one in your house. And I'm like, okay. They're like, well, this was used at his house. Like, you're fucking joking, right? Like, that's literally what they showed me. If you're getting released tomorrow, I'll leave it over. So, I hear if you go to California. I'm already planning on it, because I'm almost believe all these articles about you, because you're not leaving. Oh, what about? And all of those articles about you, what happened. News article? Yes. Okay. Well, I don't know, until you get released. I still don't know what to believe. I'm sorry. But, yes, I'm going to have one, and if you are getting released tomorrow, I'll leave it over. If not, then I have to do something with them. I'm always on the way to get close to the hills. You just presentation with these news articles about me and have literally nothing. Was so bad and points that you did. The second one was very graphic and still points that you did. Like I said, if you go in court and they release you, I still don't know what to believe and I can't be here.
Debbie, you mentioned a couple of news articles there.
Yes, sir.
When was it that you first learned of the graphic nature of what happened to your dad after his death?
I believe it was a day prior to the phone call that I was sent an article from the Las Vegas News explaining what had happened to my father and that she was involved.
Okay. At the end of that phone call, somebody hung up. Who did that?
She did.
When you were telling her, I'm leaving to California, I'll leave the dog. Did you already plan when all this kind of madness started to break it off?
Yes, sir.
Was that essentially what the jury just heard, your breakup conversation?
Yes, sir.
Do you remember if you ever talked again after that?
We never talked to me after that.
Look at me. Did you kill your father?
No, sir.
Did you have any involvement in killing your father?
No, sir.
Did you have any involvement in what happened to his body after?
No, sir.
Pass witness.
Right? Ladies and gentlemen,
Amy Tilly, husband, like this is crazy.
You've been asked that by a lot of people, correct?
Yes, sir.
You've been asked that before under oath, correct?
Yes, sir.
But you didn't tell the truth, did you? Sir, you were given copies of your prior statements in preparation for your testimony today, correct?
Yes, sir.
You were. You're a smart man, aren't you?
No, sir.
And you reviewed those copies of your statements and your testimony, correct?
Yes, sir.
Because you wanted to be prepared for today, correct?
No, sir.
I see.
check me to speak up on the board.
You would testify today that you learned of your father's death for the first time about 1 o'clock on August 7th, 2023, correct?
Yes, sir.
You'd said, I believe it was your grandfather.
Yes, sir.
Now, you were interviewed by police just shortly after that, correct?
No, sir.
You were interviewed at 2:35 p.m. August 7th by Detective Ozawa.
Yes, sir.
He came to ask about you, your wife, stuff what was going on in the house and at the other house, correct? The Paladera house.
Yes, sir.
He asked you how you got along with your father, and you told him we never really got along, correct?
Yes, sir.
It's a little bit different than what you testified to today, correct?
No, sir.
It's the same or it's different?
It's the same. I worked with my father.
I'm sorry, and this low voice, you can speak up, please.
I worked with my father, so we bumped heads on all the things, but it doesn't mean that I didn't love my father.
Okay, but the question is, how do you guys get along? And your answer is we never really got along, correct?
Only over work.
I'm sorry, sir, you have to speak up.
Only over work.
Only over work.
Yes, sir.
Well, it was just a few seconds after that that you said that you knew he was going to move in there, correct? And you didn't want to talk to him when he was at the house
No, sir.
on August 6th. You don't recall telling the detective that? I mean, you have this transcript that I'm going to start referring to. You referred to it and you reviewed it before and to prepare for today's testimony, correct?
Yes, sir. I was told shortly after his death that he was going to be hanged. Then I didn't know prior to that.
Counsel, I'm referring to page 4. I'm sorry, I'll start on page 3. I did see him here when he was unloading everything into the garage, but I just didn't speak to him. You're asked, okay, is that you guys just don't get along or just, and then you stated, we never really did. And the detective says, okay, correct?
Yes, sir.
And then you say, so not to cause any complications here, because I know he was going to move in here. I just didn't want to talk to him.
That was after the death.
But you're talking about, you saw him the day before, he's moving stuff in, and you're not going to talk to him because you know he's going to move in, and you guys don't get along. You're talking to the detective about what was going on in your head the day before, correct?
No, sir. I was told that they were moving the desk and a bunk bed into the house for the girls.
So when you're telling the detective on August 6th, I didn't go and talk to him because I never really got along with him. And I didn't want to cause any complications here because I know he was going to move in here. I just didn't want to talk to him. You're now under oath saying that meant something else?
No, sir. I'm answering the question. I was told after my father's death that he was going to move into the house, but I had no idea prior to that.
That's because you read your grand jury testimony, correct?
No, sir.
A little bit further down, same page. He wasn't really there for me, correct? I mean, you had resentment for your father. Fair to say?
No, sir.
and then kind of realize who he was as a person. And when you were talking about moving out of Yoko's house, you said, I got out as soon as I could, correct?
Yes, sir.
Page 5, you're asked, and then I guess, so your mom tells us that he was gonna move in here. What's that arrangement? And you said, she was gonna tell me to move out, or she was gonna give me some time, but he needed to get out of Yoko's house, and she was gonna let him stay here, correct?
Yes, sir.
And then you were gonna move out, and you say, correct?
Yes, sir.
So you're telling the detective who you speak to for the first time that you knew that dad was pushing you out and that you were moving out of the house, correct?
I was told that the day before.
Oh, so now you said before until after your death, now you're agreeing you knew at least the day before that your dad was pushing you out of the house, correct?
No, I'm talking about the interview. So when I had the interview with Ozawa, that's when I found out everything prior to the interview.
But you're talking about not talking to him the day before because you know you don't want problems and you know that he's moving in.
That's right.
Page 6. So we don't get along. So she was giving me the heads up so I can move out. Correct?
No, sir.
You're saying no? And I won't misread anything. I mean, these are your words.
Can you repeat it?
So we don't get along. This is like the third time you're saying this. So she was going to give me that heads up so I can move out.
Yes, sir.
And then the detective asks, and this is the second thing about your marriage. He asks you about your marriage, correct? And you say, yeah, we're married.
Yes, sir.
Correct? And you tell the police officer that we're certified, but it's not like we're really, because she has a whole bunch of health problems, all that stuff. Remember that conversation you had with the detective?
Yes, sir.
So he asked you, so it's just like worked out for like insurance, you're saying? And you say, well, not like anything bad, but like for the girls, correct?
Yes, sir.
That wasn't true, was it? What you were telling the detective after you're saying that you learned for the first time that your dad's been murdered, what you told him about your marriage wasn't true, was it?
I was also drinking that day. I don't remember.
You've read through this transcript. You agree with me that you appear to be pretty coherent, correct?
Yes, sir.
And there.
I'm gonna pull us back just a little bit, but we should be right in here. But let's see if this one sounds a little better. I don't know.
Yes, sir.
You've been asked that by a lot of people, correct?
Yes, sir.
You've been asked that before under oath, correct?
Yes, sir.
But you didn't tell the truth, did you? Sir, you were given copies of your prior statements in preparation for your testimony today, correct?
Yes, sir.
You were. You're a smart man, aren't you?
Yes, sir.
And you reviewed those copies of your statements and your testimony, correct?
Yes, sir.
Because you wanted to be prepared for today, correct?
Yes, sir.
I see.
Attorney to speak up on the roll.
You would testify today that you learned of your father's death for the first time about 1 o'clock on August 7th, 2023, correct?
Yes, sir.
You'd said, I believe it was your grandfather.
Yes, sir.
Now, you were interviewed by police just shortly after that, correct?
No, sir.
You were interviewed at 2:35 p.m., August 7th by Detective Ozawa.
Yes, sir.
He came to ask about you, your wife, stuff what was going on in the house and at the other house, correct? The Paladera house.
Yes, sir.
He asked you how you got along with your father, and you told him we never really got along, correct?
Yes, sir.
It's a little bit different than what you testified to today, correct?
Yes, sir.
It's the same or it's different?
It's the same. I worked with my father.
I'm sorry, in this low voice, you can speak up, please.
I worked with my father, so we bumped heads on a lot of things, but it doesn't mean that I didn't love my father.
Okay, but the question is, how do you guys get along? And your answer is, we never really got along, correct?
Only over work.
I'm sorry, sir, you have to speak up.
Only over work.
Only over work.
Yes, sir.
Well, it was just a few seconds after that that you said that you knew he was going to move in there, correct? And you didn't want to talk to him when he was at the house
No, sir.
on August 6th. You don't recall telling the detective that? I mean, you have this transcript that I'm going to start referring to. You referred to it and you reviewed it before and to prepare for today's testimony, correct?
Yes, sir. I was told shortly after his death that he was going to be claimed, and I didn't know prior to that.
Counsel, I'm referring to page 4. I'm sorry, I'll start on page 3. I did see him here when he was unloading everything into the garage, but I just didn't speak to him. You're asked, okay, is that you guys just don't get along or just, and then you stated, we never really did. And the detective says, okay, correct?
Yes, sir.
And then you say, so not to cause any complications here, because I know he was going to move in here. I just didn't want to talk to him.
That was after the death.
But you're talking about, you saw him the day before, he's moving stuff in, and you're not going to talk to him because you know he's going to move in, and you guys don't get along. You're talking to the detective about what was going on in your head the day before, correct?
No, sir. I was told that they were moving the desk and bunk bed into the house for the girls.
So when you're telling the detective on August 6th, I didn't go and talk to him because I never really got along with him. And I didn't want to cause any complications here because I know he was going to move in here. I just didn't want to talk to him. You're now under oath saying that meant something else?
No, sir. I'm answering your question. I was told after my father's death that he was going to move into the house, but I had no idea prior to that.
That's because you read your grand jury testimony, correct?
No, sir.
A little bit further down, same page. He wasn't really there for me, correct? I mean, you had resentment for your father, fair to say?
No, sir.
And then kind of realized who he was as a person. And when you were talking about moving out of Yoko's house, you said, I got out as soon as I could, correct?
Yes, sir.
Page 5, you're asked, and then I guess, so your mom tells us that he was going to move in here. What's that arrangement? And you said she was going to tell me to move out, or she was going to give me some time, but he needed to get out of Yoko's house, and she was going to let him stay here, correct?
Yes, sir.
And then you were going to move out, and you say, correct?
Yes, sir.
So you're telling the detective who you speak to for the first time that you knew that Dad was pushing you out and that you were moving out of the house, correct?
I was told that the day before.
Oh, so now you said before until after your death, now you're agreeing you knew at least the day before that your dad was pushing you out of the house, correct?
No, I'm talking about the interview. So when I had the interview with Ozawa, that's when I found out everything prior to the interview.
But you're talking about not talking to him the day before because you know You don't want problems and you know that he's moving in.
That's right.
Page 6. So we don't get along. So she was giving me the heads up so I can move out. Correct?
That's right.
You're saying no? And I won't misread anything. I mean, these are your words.
Can you repeat it?
So we don't get along. This is like the third time you're saying this. So she was going to give me that heads up so I can move out.
Yes, sir.
And then the detective asks, and this is the second thing about your marriage. He asks you about your marriage, correct? And you say, yeah, we're married,
Yes, sir.
correct? And you tell the police officer that we're certified, but it's not like we're really, because she has a whole bunch of health problems, all that stuff. Remember that conversation you had with the detective?
Yes, sir.
So he asked you, so it's just like worked out for like insurance, you're saying? And you say, well, not like anything bad, but like for the girls, correct?
Yes, sir.
That wasn't true, was it? What you were telling the detective after you're saying that you learned for the first time that your dad's been murdered, what you told him about your marriage wasn't true, was it?
I was also drinking that day. I don't remember.
You've read through this transcript. You agree with me that you appear to be pretty coherent, correct?
Yes, sir.
And you agree with me that the detective was kind of confused, and he's saying, well, wait a minute. She had kids with him, but you're his son, correct?
Yes, sir.
And it is clear Yoko didn't know, correct?
Yes, sir.
Page 7, detective asks again, trying to clarify this relationship and what's really going on. So he asks you, so I didn't know, but you're saying that you guys are married more out of convenience, not like you guys actually love each other. And you respond, yeah, we don't. It's not like that. It's out of convenience, correct?
Yes, sir.
That was a lie, wasn't it?
No, sir.
So you're telling us that you were telling this detective the truth?
Yes, sir.
Then the detective asks you, but do you guys sleep in the same room? And you say no, correct?
Yes, sir.
You guys actually did sleep in the same room. You slept in the same bed, didn't you?
Yes, sir.
But when he asked if you two slept in the same room, you said no, correct?
Yes, sir.
Then he asks you, are you guys intimate at all? And you say no, correct?
Yes, sir.
That wasn't true, was it?
Yes, sir.
Fair to say that you were downplaying your feelings for your wife when this detective came to ask you about the murder of your father.
Yes, sir, because I didn't know what actually happened to my father.
Please say it again.
Yes, sir, because I didn't actually know what happened to my father.
Okay. But you're lying to the police officer about your relationship with your wife, correct?
Yes, sir.
So the detective, page 8. Okay, so then you knew he was moving in and she told you that you were going to have to move out. And your response recently, yes, it was kind of a short notice, but yeah. And I mean, I know the person he is. So I was like, okay, whatever, I'll deal with it. That's what you said to the detective, correct?
Yes, sir.
And the detective follows up. Okay, and that's you were going to move out. Did he knew that you lived here? Or didn't know that you lived here, and you respond, no, he knows I live here, correct?
My father?
Yeah.
Who?
Yeah.
That lived in Vegas?
No, that lived in that house. The detective asked him, does he know that you live here? And you say, yeah, he knows I live here, correct?
Yes, sir.
You did confirm that you knew that she was going over there to your dad's house with the girls, correct?
Yes, sir. That was the joint custody that they had.
Yeah. And the detective, confirming that you know that he's moving in and that you're going out, asks, why was he moving out of the other house? And you said, because they all they do is scream and yell. When I was over there, my grandma would go downstairs at 6 a.m. yelling at him for the car payment, correct?
Yes, sir.
And you also say, I think my grandma was kicking him out, correct?
Yes, sir.
It's true. And trust me, I'm not going to tell you anything you didn't say, okay? I'm not trying to trick you. You're asked page 10 by Detective Ozawa, bottom of the page. Okay, so then how long has, I guess, it been planned for them to move John in over here? Your response, I have no idea. Like, it was ran by me that, because we all know how he is. And it's like, okay, if he's moving in here and if he's going to be homeless, I get it. I can move out and go somewhere because I have a legitimate job, correct?
Yes, sir.
So this isn't some one-off. You repeatedly confirmed to Detective Ozawa that your dad was moving in and that you were moving out, correct?
Yes, sir.
But you had the legitimate job, correct?
We both had legitimate jobs.
You had a good job.
His job was better than mine.
He was a mover, part-time, correct?
He did everything.
Your grandmother was always angry at him because she owed him money. Fair?
Fair.
But you had a steady job at Hometronics, correct?
Yes, sir.
So you had the good, legitimate job that you were the one getting kicked out, correct?
Yes, sir.
In fact, you go on to state that you're a technician for Hometronics, correct?
Yes, sir.
And that you do security systems, correct?
Yes, sir.
And you install entertainment systems.
Yes, sir.
You told the officer that you'd been doing that for about 2.5 years. Fair?
Yes, sir.
You were asked again by Detective Ozai, well, since you knew you were moving out, where are you going to move into? Where are you going to move to? And you tell them, and this is page 12, counsel. Yeah, like I have some friends down the street that I could roommate with, correct?
Yes, sir.
I made you angry, didn't it?
Yes, sir.
I mean, you've been in this house with your wife, your dad's moving in, and you have to leave. You're telling us that didn't make you angry?
No, sir.
Now, today you testified that you'd worked the day before, August 6th, correct?
Yes, sir.
But you were actually off the day before, correct? You didn't work on August 6th.
I was drinking a lot. I don't remember.
But you would first tell the police officer, yeah, I worked yesterday, but then
Sir, I have to have you to speak up. The jury's having a hard time.
Sorry about that.
Is that better?
if you could just please repeat your answer. Trust me, I'm not trying. If you could speak up, please, and just repeat that last answer.
I was drinking a lot and I don't remember.
But you actually made the same mistake and initially told him I was working yesterday, but then you corrected yourself, correct?
Yes, sir.
So you really weren't drinking that much. Because you at first said, well, I worked yesterday. And then you said, oh, actually, you know what? It's my day off. Correct? Sundays are your days off.
That was 10 years ago, and I was drinking very heavily for my father's death. So
Okay. But sir, this conversation occurred August 7th, 2023. All right?
sorry.
Or, I mean, you do, fair to say, it hasn't been that long, has it?
Not 10 years.
In reference to the day before, August 6th, and you seeing them moving in, okay, because you actually didn't work the day before. You said, I heard the door open. I thought one of the girls opened the door. So I came down and looked out and saw him unloading stuff. And I was like, oh, all right, whatever. So I closed the door, just didn't hear it, correct?
Yes, sir.
And at this point in time, you tell the detective that you actually don't have a room in the house, correct?
Yes, sir.
But that wasn't true. I mean, you were sleeping with your wife in the same bed, correct?
Yes, sir.
You said that your guy is a hot-tempered guy, correct?
That's who it is?
His father.
Okay, you said your guy.
Yeah. You said he's like a hot-tempered guy, correct?
Yes, sir.
You said he had no filter, that kind of a guy.
Yes, sir.
You were asked, okay, so when you left Yoko's house, and that was a couple of years before, correct?
Yes, sir.
How often do you talk to him? And your answer was not at all, correct?
Yes, sir.
And the detective says, oh, and you say nothing. I mean, you say nothing, correct? Meaning you guys don't talk.
After he found out that we were married, we didn't talk after that.
Detective asks you, he didn't call you or nothing, and you said no, correct?
Yes, sir.
No text, nothing like that, and you said no, correct?
Yes, sir.
The detective then asks you about you speaking with him a couple of months ago, and what did that entail? Like, what were you guys doing at that point? You correct him and say, I didn't say I spoke to him a couple of weeks ago, correct?
Yes, sir.
And then the detective says, I thought you said the last time you spoke with, like actually talked to him, was a couple of months ago. And you say, well, like it was probably years, correct?
Yes, sir.
You say he doesn't call me on my birthday, not on Happy New Year's, like none of that. So not Thanksgiving, so we just didn't talk, correct?
Yes, sir.
And then you're asked by the detective, counsel is on page 18, is there anything you can think of that you haven't told me that you think might be important for us to know? And you say, correct?
Yes, sir.
So they're there trying to figure out this dynamic, and you've lied to them about the relationship that you have with your wife, and you've lied to them about the living arrangement where you're getting kicked out by your father, correct? He's moving you out.
Yes, sir, because I didn't know what exactly had happened.
You did say that it was kind of a shit show at the other house, correct?
Yes, sir.
That wasn't the first time that you had discussed issues concerning this dynamic, correct? Concerning your wife, you, your father, the moving arrangements, correct?
No, no, sir.
You were interviewed another time, correct? By another officer. And you reviewed that in preparation, the transcript, in preparation for your testimony today.
Yes, sir.
That interview occurred September 12th, 2023, correct?
Yes, sir.
And this detective now, after speaking to you, and it's a little bit into the interview, tells you, well, you know, you weren't the main suspect. You know what I mean? This is, meaning the situation is a little different than hers. We're here to, you didn't do it, to clear you, correct? You recall that
When was this
conversation?
again?
I'm sorry?
When did this conversation happen again?
September 12th, 2023.
Yes, sir.
Remember that? And you're there being interviewed concerning being a potential suspect. And you remember the date, correct?
Yes, sir.
And you're being told now that we're working to clear you, correct?
Yes, sir.
You were relieved, fair to say?
Yes, sir.
The detective asked you, does that make sense? And you say it does, correct?
Yes, sir.
And then the detective says, and while the chances of you even being there are so slim that it's just, there's, that's not even on the radar, correct?
Yes, sir.
I mean, you had told law enforcement that you weren't close to Devyn. You didn't really have a real marriage. And things aren't that bad with your dad. And you're basically being told, hey, it's good. You're good, correct?
Yes, sir.
In fact, you're left there sitting for a little while and the room's being recorded. And you say, this is going to be a fucking Netflix series, correct?
I don't remember.
I told you that you said that. Would you have any reason to disagree with me?
I'm just letting you know I don't remember.
Okay.
Oh, sorry.
And before I forget, I'm sorry for going back, but there was some discussion with Detective Ozawa about the problem the morning, August 7th, about your wife trying to register the girls. Your dad was supposed to have registered them, correct?
Yes, sir.
That's because they were moving into the house and the girls were starting at that school, correct?
Yes, sir.
So that's again a confirmation that you knew that they were moving into the house. Correct?
Yes, sir.
You testified before a grand jury, a little different room, but you were put under oath and you were called as a witness on September 14th, just a couple of days after that last interview, correct?
Yes, sir.
And under oath, you testified like you did initially today that you were unaware that your father was moving into the house, correct?
Yes, sir.
And that it was something that you had learned after your father's death, correct?
Yes, sir.
And that there were no discussions about you potentially moving out, correct?
Yes, sir.
In fact, that's exactly what you said, no, sir. There was never a discussion and you said no, sir, but there were multiple discussions, correct?
So that I can remember this.
You were asked, were you estranged from your father? And you said, we didn't get along, correct?
Only while working, sir, yes.
I'm sorry?
Only while we worked together.
So you're still saying you guys got along just fine, but it was just work related?
Anytime I was with him, I had a good time.
I see. But you guys don't text, you don't call, correct?
Not after he found out I was married.
Today, now that she's on trial, you testified that you woke up at 2:00 on the morning of the 7th and she was in bed, correct?
Yes, sir.
But when you testified to the grand jury, you testified that you never woke up at all, correct? I'm referring to page 17, 18.
Yes, sir.
So your testimony is different again today on that point, correct?
Yes, sir.
Because obviously you waking up is kind of a big deal, correct?
Yes, sir.
In fact, you were actually awake at 2 a.m. on the 7th, weren't you?
I woke up to her getting in bed and I looked over at her and saw that she got in bed and I rolled back over and went to sleep.
You had been calling her that night from the home phone, correct? While she's with your dad.
We don't have a home phone.
Testimonies that you don't have a home phone. All right. So it's your testimony that you didn't call over and over again?
I believe I sent a text and she didn't reply, and then that's when I put the girls to sleep and I went to sleep myself.
But that wasn't the only night that she was out with your dad. She was with your dad till like 1 a.m. the night before, correct?
Possibly moving things, yes.
So 2 nights in a row, she's with your dad and she's not home, correct?
Yes, sir.
In fact, through the course of your grand jury testimony, you are asked by a grand juror, because unlike this, I mean, grand jurors can ask you questions, correct? I mean, that was your understanding. They spoke to you.
Yes, sir.
You were asked how long you and Devyn had been married, correct?
Yes, sir.
And you answered 3 years.
Yes, sir.
And then there's some follow-up questions. Just like to ask you a couple more questions about that. Did you and Devyn,
Sorry to interrupt.
I'm sorry, page 35.
Thank
Did you and Devyn get married in the traditional sense? And you answered, yes, it was more of me helping out with the girls when she couldn't find a babysitter. So I figured, well, we both kind of sat and talked about it. When she has to go to work and can't find a babysitter, I could be there. She also had a whole bunch of medical problems and it was very expensive to keep the girls at daycare, and she's sitting in the hospital, so I would normally be there to watch them. And then there's a question, okay, and I'm sorry to ask, was an intimate relationship that you were in with Devyn at some point? And your testimony under oath to this grand jury on this day was, yes, after the first year, it started to get intimate, correct?
Yes, sir.
After the first year of marriage, it started to get intimate, correct?
Objection, it does not say that.
The context of the question, I've read it, it speaks for itself.
Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, the jury can determine what the context is, you just need to read it verbatim. for that objection will be sustained.
And if I may just read then for the record, I mean, this is prior testimony.
This is from the grand jury.
Correct.
What page are you on?
Page 35, I'll start at line 15, page 35, by juror. How long have you and Devyn been married? Answer, 3 years. Question. If I could ask you just a couple more questions about that, did you and Devyn get married in the traditional sense? Yes. Answer. But it was more of me helping out with the girls when she couldn't find a babysitter. So I figured, well, we both kind of sat and talked about it. When she has to go to work and can't find a babysitter, I could be there. She also had a whole bunch of medical problems, and it's very expensive to keep the girls at a daycare when she's sitting in the hospital, so I would normally be there to watch them. Question, okay, and I'm sorry to ask, was it an intimate relationship that you were in with Devyn at some point? Yes. After the first year, it started to get intimate. Next question. Did it remain intimate up until the time of your father's death? Yes. You're getting closer to the truth of the nature of your relationship, the farther it is that you get away from perhaps being charged with his murder. Fair to say?
Can you repeat the question?
You're getting more and more truthful concerning the nature of your relationship with Devyn, the further it gets away from your having been charged or being charged. Fair to say?
Yes, sir.
You testified today that you didn't remember the date that you married her, correct? Your testimony that you don't remember marrying her on December 21st, 2021?
No, sir.
Are these in stipulated? Thank you. There'll be exhibit numbers, but I'm going to show you some pictures, okay? And these were taken from your phone. From his phone.
Are those stipulated too?
Yeah, we have no objection. We just want a copy because
Absolutely.
we've just seen them, but
Okay.
I think we do for,
Objective to this guy?
correct. I think,
Okay, well, let's just make it right.
Yes. Yeah, they put them on. This is L3. It's been marked by your clerk. He was ahead of me, so thank you.
Right, but I think Steve didn't tell me what it is, so we put it on the record.
Okay. L3.
It's L3?
Yeah, is that L3?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, so L3, well, Mr. Dressler, what's it, if the whole packet's being stipulated to, let's just admit the packet now, and you
Okay.
can show any ones you want.
Okay.
So L3 to what?
Hang on just a second. A3 to S3.
Okay, A3 to S3 is the medical stipulation, we have to eventually finish them all.
And in the interest of time, and since these will go back, I'm not going to go through each and every one of them.
I don't think so.
If we could please-
In the front.
Right here?
Yeah.
Remember that date?
I remember the day.
Okay. But you do remember marrying her, correct?
Yes, sir.
Remember this?
Yes, sir.
Now, what exhibit was that?
This is exhibit K3. And we're going to be showing you L3. Remember this?
Yes, sir.
So, I mean, fair to say you and she had a traditional marriage, didn't you?
Yes, sir.
I mean, obviously it was a fairly passionate relationship, wasn't it?
It got weird, yeah.
I mean, for good and bad, correct?
Yes, sir.
That she had sent you a text just days before this case began about get out of the house. Do you recall that? Get your stuff. Don't think of coming back. I want a divorce.
I don't remember anything like that.
And you're still married to her, correct?
Yes, sir.
After things went down in this case, you moved to California, correct?
Yes, sir.
Through the course of your marriage to her, you wore a wedding ring, didn't you?
In my time in Vegas, yeah.
And she wore a wedding ring too, correct?
Yes, sir.
And that was a symbol of the commitment that you had to each other, correct? Rings are.
Yes, sir.
I'm showing you what's been admitted, Defense Exhibit B3. That was the ring that she wore, correct?
Yes, sir.
You worked at Hometronics and you had tools, correct?
Yes, sir.
You were good at installing home security systems, correct?
Yes, sir.
You had hundreds of pictures on your phone of various systems that you installed, correct?
Yes, sir. After I was done with the job, I had to upload it to the Hometronics website to prove that I got the job done.
And Your Honor, this is Defense Exhibit. It's like B1 through V2. We're moving through the admission. These are just images of security systems.
B1 through B2.
I'm sorry,
B1 through
B1 through V2.
Oh, no objection.
Okay, B1 through B2 will be a minute.
And in going through these security systems, you obviously were conscientious of the angles, correct?
I would always ask how we set the camera up, and I would ask the customer to pull it on their phone and let me know what elevation I get.
So you're familiar with security cameras and what they picked up and what they didn't.
Yes, sir.
And there's going to be a stack of these, but I'll just show you just for like Defense Exhibit K2. I mean, we've got one right here. You can see that, correct?
Yes, sir.
You know what type of camera that is, correct?
A ring camera?
All right. Showing you Defense Exhibit D2. You got the ladder up on this. This is an exterior camera. You installed that one, correct?
Yes, sir.
You know what kind of camera that is, correct?
That's also a ring camera.
I mean, you were good at what you did, correct?
Yes, sir.
And installing the home entertainment systems, I mean, you just saw us all. You cut through 2x4s, you cut through drywall, things like that, correct?
Not 2x4s, it was just roll.
Okay. But you had tools, you had saws, you had electric powered saws, correct?
No, just a drywall saw. That was in my bag
Okay,
for doing in-wall kits for TVs.
all right. And it's your testimony, Mr. Giordani asked you, it's your testimony that you didn't kill your father, is that correct?
I did not kill my father.
You left your home that night, didn't you?
Objection, what night?
The night of the 7th, early morning hours of August 7th, correct?
2023.
2023.
To go to work?
No, you left the house in the dark at 2 a.m., correct?
No, sir.
You'd been on your phone. You were looking at pictures of you and Devyn, correct?
I don't remember.
You left that home. You went to the Palo Verde residence, didn't you? The Palo Verde residence.
No, sir. If you're talking about the night that my father was married,
Yeah.
I was home with the girls. We watched a movie. I put them to sleep. I received a text her letting her know that I put them to sleep, and I went to sleep myself.
And that's your testimony under oath, correct?
Yes, sir.
Like the testimony under oath that you've given to the grand jury previously, correct?
Yes, sir.
You'll agree with me that you'll lie under oath if it fits you.
No, sir. I became a very big alcoholic.
Okay.
So it doesn't. But I will answer truthfully to what I feel.
But you'd agree with me that you were an alcoholic before that day and you had a drinking problem, correct? Before August 7th, 2023.
Yes.
In fact, it became a really big point of contention between you and your wife, correct?
Yes.
The actions, correct? Things that you do, correct? She'd send you texts. I mean, she'd get angry about that, correct?
Yes, sir.
She'd tell you that you were turning into your father. Isn't that true?
Yes, sir.
And you resented that part of your father, didn't you? Because he did the same thing, correct?
No, sir.
And you'd agree with me that when you drink, you do things that you wish you didn't, correct?
Other than maybe throw up, no, sir.
It affected your judgment, didn't it?
No, sir.
Affects your memory, doesn't it?
Yes, sir.
I have no further questions. Thank you.
Can you read the rest of it?
Yes. Bear with me, Devyn, I just got some more questions.
Yes, sir.
I want to clarify a couple of things. So, Mr. Droskich started his questioning by asking you if you'd ever talked to him or his investigator or anything like that, correct?
Yes, sir.
Since after that jail call we heard, you moved to California, correct?
Yes, sir.
And you've maintained a job out there, correct?
Yes, sir.
Living a normal, or I guess relatively normal life.
Yes, sir.
You traveled here after we contacted you and said this trial's coming up and we need you to testify as a witness, correct?
Yes, sir.
You came here willingly.
Yes, sir.
You didn't make me go arrest you to bring me here, correct?
Yes, sir.
We flew you out, you came and you brought your girlfriend for support.
Yes, sir.
And your girlfriend's the young lady sitting in the back of the courtroom?
Yes, sir.
Is it easy for you to talk about your personal sexual life in front of all these strangers and that big old camera right there?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so tell me tell the jury. Was this a dynamic, untraditional relationship?
At first, it was just to help with my sisters, and things got a little weird, so in the beginning, no, and then at the end, yes.
Okay, and I'm not just talking about the marriage. I'm talking about since you were a 19-year-old kid having sex with your father's ex, or I guess live-in girlfriend at the time. You would agree that's not traditional.
Absolutely. Yes.
You would agree that's not traditional.
Yes, sir.
You would agree that, it's not the best look to do what you did.
Yes, sir.
Are you embarrassed of that?
Yes, sir.
But it happened and you're acknowledging it, correct?
Yes, sir.
And that sexual relationship went on for an extended period of time.
Yes, sir.
Without going through all these exhibits, you would acknowledge and you understand that the detectives took your phone and took a whole bunch of other phones, correct?
Yes, sir.
And before you even took the stand in front of these people today, you know that we, all these lawyers, have access to your most personal, intimate conversations.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Are you doing your best to recall 2 years ago, back to 8 years ago in front of this jury?
Yes, sir.
So when you say, sitting on the stand today, you say, I believe I worked on August 6th. Is that what you believe?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So Mr. Draskovich made a big point of this, and I want to address it real quickly. Page 13 of the voluntary statement of counsel. This is about working the day before. Actually, it's bottom of page 12. The detective asks you, okay, is that what time you got off? And I'm going to be exactly precise with the words from this transcript, okay?
Yes, sir.
You respond, sometimes a little earlier. The detective asks, is that what time you got off yesterday? You respond, I got off yesterday at about, wait now, today's Monday. Yesterday was Sunday, right? And the detective responds, yeah. Then you respond, yeah, I didn't work yesterday. Does that sound accurate?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And I can show you this at any point if you need to see it. My point is, and my question is, on August 7th, you learned your father died from your grandfather, correct?
Yes, sir.
You have, you were at work and then you go home and you start drinking, correct?
Yes, sir.
You learn a little bit later that it's not like a natural death and there are police involved, correct?
Yes, sir.
There are police showing up to your house, they're searching it, they're talking to Nikki, Devyn, they're talking to you, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You acknowledged with defense counsel earlier, you were not entirely truthful about the depth of your relationship with Nikki. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Explain to this jury, let them look at you and say, why is it that you were not entirely truthful about your relationship with Nikki on the day one?
I wasn't entirely truthful with our relationship because I didn't know that my father was murdered. And I didn't want anybody to talk about that. I tried to fill some truths that I shouldn't be filling.
Okay. So do you even know at the time you're giving this interview that Nikki was a potential suspect?
I was unaware for the whole thing. I just didn't know why the cops were in her house.
Okay. Did there come a point in time in the intervening or the days after August 7th where you start to suspect she had something to do with it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Was that easy for you to come to that understanding?
Absolutely not.
Okay. She was your wife. She is your wife.
Yes, sir.
You cared for 2 children together. You had a lot of sexual history with this person, correct?
Yes, sir.
Did you want to see her go to jail or get arrested for this?
Can you repeat the question?
Yeah, and I should clarify. In the days where you're just suspecting and you're still kind of figuring out what's going on, did you want her to go to jail and lose her kids for this?
Once I found out after the news article, yes.
Okay, so once you find out what actually happened to your dad and you presume she did it, you want her to go to jail. Fair.
Yes, sir.
But before that, you're not in any of this interviews blaming it on her, correct? We agree there.
Yes, sir.
You're not saying she must have done it. You're just giving history.
Yes, sir.
You minimize your relationship. We can agree.
Yes, sir.
With regard to the questioning Mr. Draskovich went through with the, when you learned your dad was moving into the Porcupine Room entrance. I want to talk about this for a moment. Before I get into the transcript, as you sit here right now, when is it that you think you learned that your dad was moving into the residence?
It was talked about before. I drank a lot According to the paper, I did know about it apparently, but
Okay,
I didn't think it was actually going to happen.
okay. So, and bottom of page 8. I'm going to read verbatim. You are asked about line 300, counsel. Okay, so then you knew he was moving in and she told you that you were going to have to move out, period. You respond, recently, yes. It was kind of a short notice, but yeah, period. And period, I mean, period, I know the person he is. So I was like, okay, whatever, I'll deal with it, period. They then ask, okay, and you were going to move out. Did he knew that you lived here or didn't know that you lived here? You responded, no, he knew I lived there. Detective says, and then ... and you continue and you say, but since I didn't talk to him and she was going over there for the girls and him, I kind of stayed away. I guess they would talk about it and she ran it by me. I drink a lot, so she ran it by me apparently, and I was gonna move out for a short period of time until he got on his feet and I was gonna come back. Does that sound accurate? Do you dispute what is in the statement?
Yes, sir.
Does it sound accurate?
Yes, sir.
You're not disputing what's in the statement.
No, sir.
So even back then, you're telling them like, I drink a lot. She apparently told me this.
Yes, sir.
As you sit here right now, do you 100% remember when you learned your dad was going to move in?
No, sir.
Okay. Had you known beforehand, before his death, would that have caused you to fight him, hurt him, kill him?
No, sir.
Would you have had any reason to kill him?
No, sir.
Did you want out of this relationship with Nikki at varying points of time?
Yes, sir.
And so had your dad moved in and you've been told you gotta go stay at a buddy's house and move out or whatever, would that have been a big deal for you at the time?
Absolutely.
All right, thank you, Devyn. I pass the witness.
Can you agree, Mr. Director?
Yes. This whole issue about the sexual relationship that you had with Devyn, beginning when you were 19, you didn't speak to the prosecutor or anybody about that until yesterday, correct?
Yes, sir.
You watched this opening statement, didn't you? Our opening statement where we laid out what was in the phones. Isn't that right?
Can you repeat the question?
Yeah, you watched the opening statement in this case, didn't you?
What was the opening statement in this case?
You don't know what an opening statement is or the opening statement?
I don't record a lot.
I see. So she's on trial. You're in California or you're getting here and you didn't watch this?
I seen a YouTube video.
Then you talked to the prosecutor about these issues, correct? So you watched the YouTube video, you watched the opening statement, correct? And you adjusted, isn't that right?
What do you mean by adjusted?
You received a couple of texts from your father. (10/24/2022). You have nothing to tell me? WTF. I thought you were my seed. If what I know, I can't fuck with you. And he sent you another one a moment after that. Double shit, correct?
Listen,
I have no further questions.
Anybody understand?
What YouTube video did you see and when did you see it?
It was earlier in the year. I think it was about the custody case. It wasn't about this one.
Okay, so that line of questioning just now was a bit misleading, so let me clarify something.
I'd object. That question was clear. It's whether it's his answer, I think, is misleading. So
Mr. Giordano's objection, Mr. Giordano's characterization is going to be sustained. Mr. Giordano, if you think something needs to be clarified for this jury, you can ask a clarifying question.
Okay. So the way, maybe I mischaracterized or misunderstood the question. I thought the question was, did you watch a YouTube video last night of the opening statement that happened in this trial?
No, sir, I'm sorry. The video that I had witnessed was over the custody case, I believe.
Yeah, like months ago, correct?
Yeah,
Okay.
earlier this year.
Did you watch any footage from this trial before hitting the stand?
No, sir.
Okay. So what you're testifying to is not based on something Mr. Draskovich said yesterday or the day before, because you wouldn't know what he said, correct?
Yes, sir.
And when we met last night, I told you, I'm not going to tell you what anybody said in court. I want to hear the truth, correct?
Yes, sir.
And I said the most important thing is to tell the truth, correct?
Yes, sir.
Are you doing that?
Yes, sir.
Pass witness.
Any follow-up, Mr. Draskovich?
you're capable of not quite telling the truth when it's to your benefit. Fair to say?
I just didn't understand the question. I'm sorry.
I see. You reviewed those transcripts prior to your testimony today, correct?
Yes, sir.
When you spoke with investigators from the district attorney's office in preparation for this trial, didn't you?
Yes, sir.
They went through what your testimony was going to be. They went through what your statements were going to be, correct?
Yes, sir.
They provided you transcripts of your prior statements, correct?
Yes, sir.
And it wasn't until last night that you talked about having this sexual relationship with your wife, about 19, correct?
Yes, sir.
And just last night's the first time you talked about it, just so we're clear, correct?
Talk to him.
To the prosecutor about this relationship that you had with Devyn. Last night was the first time, correct?
Well, he is there, yeah.
Yeah, but no, I'm sorry. It's been a long day
It's okay.
with Devyn. That you spoke with Mr. Giordani last night for the first time, correct? About your relationship with Devyn Michaels, going back to 19, correct?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. I have no further questions.
Any follow-up?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I just got to clarify. So everyone understands, you testified at a prior proceeding where I questioned you, the grand jury thing that we were talking about earlier.
Yes, sir.
And you talked about the relationship and you said it was sexual after the first year and it went up and until your dad's death.
Yes, sir.
That's back in September of 23.
Yes, sir.
Last night, you flew in out of state, you came with your girl, and you met with us with a witness present, a guy with a badge. Do you remember that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And I don't know if it was meant to be suggested this way, but what I heard was they told you what to say or something like
Oh,
that?
I object that. No, I didn't. That wasn't my
Okay.
question. So that was
Okay.
Okay.
So we asked you questions, correct?
Yes.
And I told you, I can't tell you anything that's happened in court. That would be unethical, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I told you to tell the truth.
Yes, sir.
Pass witness.
Any follow-up, Mr. Draskovich?
Just so we're clear, I'm not accusing him of any wrongdoing. I'm just saying yesterday was the first time that you had a discussion about having a relationship with your wife, a sexual relationship from the time you were 19, correct?
No, sir. It sounds like I was already interviewed about it and I talked about it.
I read you your grand jury transcript. No, that was in the context of your marriage. You never testified before the grand jury about having a sexual relationship with your wife that began when you were 19, correct?
Yes, sir.
I have no further questions.
Any follow-up, Mr.
No,
Draskovich?
thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, the jury have any questions for this witness? Okay, seeing no response. Sir, you
Okay,
are-
so that's the baby daddy / stepdaddy / whatever you want to call him. And whatchamacallit, I'm gonna say whatchamacallit, his actual testimony. As I promised, I am going to go ahead and play the this goofy turning down the plea deal. which I just really still can't understand why she did this, because she knew what happened. Regardless of what we may think or how we may feel about it, the one person that does know what happened is her. Yeah, but I think I think that he was just lying because of their nature of their relationship, and he just didn't want nobody to know. So, like, in some ways, I'm like okay with that. So let's do this. I am going to share this, and then that way we can see how she's so silly. I can't believe she did this. I just can't believe she did this. It's just stupid. I just stupid. Like, just
Person
stupid.
Devyn Michaels. May the record
So this
reflect that
is
Ms.
her in the
Michaels is
first
present
hearing,
in custody
turning
and
that down.
subject
So
to
we'll
your on
watch
her
this,
behalf.
and
Mr.
then
Giordani and Ms.
I
Griffith are
will
here on
let you
behalf of the
guys
state.
go for
Ms.
today.
State
We
comes up to
will be
sentencing. Are
hearing
both
the
parties ready to go
firefighter,
forward?
the
Yes,
chief
Your Honor.
firefighters read
All right,
trial.
state,
So
this
if you
is a
see that
stipulated sentence. Anything you
go out,
want to add?
I'm kind of
I
like
do just a couple
together
of things,
all
Judge. First, we have three
the
victim
clips
speakers. I asked that
so we
they
can have it in like one
speak
long
last.
form. Let me pause that. Sorry. So we can have it in one long form. No, this is not an interrogation. This is her when they offer her the plea deal and how she acted a butt and they took the plea deal off the table. So you guys can hear it.
We obviously went to a settlement conference. We stipulated this sentence. I think that the life tale reflects the gravity and the haunting nature of the facts. As you know, the defendant not only murdered her ex, but then desecrated his body by decapitating him and putting chemicals on his body, causing it to burn. The defendant admitted to the fatal blow. She never admitted to the decapitation portion, but the evidence was overwhelming that it was obviously her who did it. Another haunting fact, and something that should be concerning, which supports the life tale, is that the defendant had a corollary child abuse case that pre-existed this. We reviewed, Ms. Griffith and I reviewed the minutes in that case, and it appears that 2 days after she murdered and decapitated her ex, she appeared in court in front of another judge in this courthouse and made representations that she was staying out of trouble, and obviously had that on her conscience at the time, walked right back out of the courthouse, and then ultimately was developed as our suspect and arrested. We take this case very seriously, obviously the family does as well. We believe the sentence reflects the gravity of the crime, so we will submit it. We do have some updates on CTS, which was wrong in the PSI.
Correct. I calculated the credit at 455 days as of today.
Okay, that sounds correct.
Because I calculated it in regards to she was on probation when this event occurred. She then got that sentence imposed. She was released on that sentence, so she started accumulating the credit on that day. And I have it at 455 days as of today.
Yes, and we also have restitution requests. We've now received documentation.
Actually, I did not receive documentation.
Right, we just received it this morning. We showed it to Mr. Patrick. It's supposed to be 5,000 to VOC,
I have that.
1,923 to James Willett.
Hold on just one second. $1,923
Yes,
to whom?
James Willett,
Okay.
and $2,500 to Yoko Willett.
How do you spell the first name?
Y-O-K.
Mr. Patrick, have you seen this?
I have, Your Honor.
Okay, what's your position in regard to the restitution?
They had the documentation, we're okay with it.
Okay, State, I'm gonna need you to file that documentation. Because pursuant to the new case law, I can't order restitution without documentation.
Yes, ma'am.
All right? Ms. Michaels, what, if anything, would you like to say before I pronounce sentence against you?
There's so much I want to say. Jonathan was very special, very unique, and I know no matter what I say at this moment, I know right now, no one in the family is going to believe me. I know right now, no one in the family feels that I am innocent at any point, and I understand that, but I can actually prove my innocence. I actually can, and I'm not gonna stop fighting to prove my innocence. I have more than enough, and Jonathan deserves to have the actual person who's guilty behind bars. I
was helping Jonathan. I can show that I was trying to help him. And this, I know, is hurting the family, and I can see it in your faces, and I know your hearts are angry, and they should be. And I'm angry for you. And this is not fair to you. This has been dragging out for almost 2 years. It's not fair to you. And it's not fair to his children. Any of them. And it's not right. It really isn't. It's not. I've seen so much that it's just terrible. The way that they manipulated and altered and deleted things is wrong. They should not be able to do it, and they have. And for you to be able to look me in the eye knowing that the things are altered and
You pled guilty, man.
Ms. Michaels, you are not to address the state. You are to
I'm not
address me.
addressing
You are.
the state. I
You're addressing Mr.
apologize.
Giordano. You are going to address me. What do
My
you want me to
apologies.
say? What do you want to say to me?
my apologies. I wasn't trying to address the state directly. It's just, I was told. I just told one thing after another, and I truly believed that we were going to do the right thing, and it just didn't happen. I am so sorry for all of this, but I am so sorry. But I didn't do this, and I didn't know this would end up like this. I really didn't. And I will forever apologize to the family that I don't know how to fix any of this anymore. I don't. I keep listening to what everyone tells me is the best thing to do. Just do this and it'll work out this way, and follow this advice and we'll do this. And I keep listening to the people because they keep saying this is the best advice. It doesn't turn out the way they tell me it will. And it just gets worse and worse. And I don't know what to do anymore.
Judge, I'm not comfortable with this record. I'm willing to let her out of her plea if the court's inclined.
I don't know how to fix this.
All right.
It's just, this wouldn't be appropriate.
I completely understand.
Let's go to trial.
Mr. Giordano. All right. Ms. Michael, Judge Mr. Giordano says that he's willing to let you out of your plea, and he's willing to try this case. And you understand that he's willing to try this case on an open murder. So a jury can convict you of a first-degree murder. You understand that? Or do you want to talk to Mr. Patrick about it?
I don't want to talk to Mr. Patrick. He didn't listen to anything I
Miss
said.
Michaels, I need you to understand what I'm saying to you and answer my question. Do
Yes.
you want to withdraw your plea and go to trial?
Yes, please.
All right. This plea is going to be withdrawn. Ms. Patrick, I need you to have some discussions with your client
Your
about.
Honor, I've moved to withdraw at this time. This case needs to go back to the appointed counsel.
Ms.
I will-
Michaels, hold on just one second. Ms. Michaels, you need to conduct yourself like this is a courtroom. If you cannot do that, then they're going to remove you because I still have business to conduct.
Yes.
Do you understand? Mr. Patrick?
Judge, respectfully, I move to withdraw and have this case sent back to Office of Appointed Counsel. I am not in a position to accept appointment on this case should it go to trial at this time.
All right. All right, I'm gonna have to reach out to the Office of Appointed Counsel and get her a lawyer that's going to be appointed with the understanding this case is 2 years old. This case is not going to sit stagnant and wait around for a trial. So I'm going to reach out to Ms. Bush myself and have a discussion with her in regards to the appointment of counsel, because this is not going to be, this case has been delayed. extensively, and this case is not going to further be delayed so that there is no justice for everybody.
Yes, sir.
And Your Honor, if I may, that's one of the other reasons, because with Barry Edwards, it would be late next year before I would even consider putting this on as a trial.
So I'll reach out to, Ms. Bush,
Understood.
July 31st, 9 a.m.
And Your Honor, do you grant my motion to withdraw, please?
Yes, I'm gonna grant your motion, Mr.
Thank you.
Dang-lang, dang-lang. I'll tell you, if you didn't see that,
So
you
hard.
wouldn't believe me that
I
happened.
can only imagine. I mean,
Like,
we've
I
covered
could
this.
not believe. I will honestly tell you guys, like, when that first happened, when I first seen it, I said to myself, she got to be not guilty and maybe she being railroaded. This me not knowing much about the case, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, she got to be getting railroaded. You know, because sometimes that happen, and she like looking at the prosecutor with such disdain and such irritation, you know, like, please, please let me out of this deal. So she like, you know, I can prove it, I will prove it, you know, all of this stuff. And so I'm thinking, okay, you know, she got something valid. Let's let her out of her deal. For us to go through trial and for that to happen, oh, the judge was through with her. It wasn't no way that she wasn't getting no less than a Twinkie. She like, please, please, and doing all this. What the? I got evidence. I got everything to prove it. I can show you right now. And this girl gets the trial, and she does, and that's what happens. So you know when the judge comes to sentencing, like, look, she started like, look, you wanted out of your plea deal. What are we doing here? Well, you know when you don't take the plea, you try to take it to court and you lose, you know they throwing a book at you for wasting their time. Oh, poor girl. I can't believe she did that shit. You wouldn't believe me if I didn't show you. Because I couldn't believe that she did that. I couldn't believe it. She ain't have nothing. I mean, the way she was pleading in there, acting like they was railroading her, you would have thought she had something. That's why I'm like, they better be putting on the case. Like, who is she saying? I'm done. I'm glad that she got what she deserved because she know exactly what was going on. Okay? If don't nobody else know, Devyn know, right? Because she had to be participating in it. You know, her heart know what's going on. I'm so irritated that she did that. You think that's what she thought? Well, whatever she thought, it didn't happen. And if he the one that did it, then she should have been up there and she should have been crying, talking about he did it and got up on the stand and testified that he did it. That was all stupid. To me, in my opinion. Yeah, they all look guilty, but they didn't prove nothing against all the other people. That's the problem. I mean, and she had it because they got video of her leaving the house and the phone, and they got her at the CVS, and they got her phone in just different places. Like Devyn the one good thing that he did going for him is that his phone was at home. They got her on cameras and all types of stuff. And she knew what evidence she had that they had on her. You knew she was guilty when she was like, take the plea off the table, and the lawyer was like, I quit. He raised his hand. He was like, I quit. I knew she was done after I seen that. Because the lawyer was like, ain't no way I'm about to go down this rabbit hole with her. She gonna do this by herself. I don't know if she didn't have her meds that day or what was going on, because she looked medicated throughout the trial. So maybe she didn't have her medication that day. But through the trial, she was just sitting there like with that raggedy wig, like she didn't know what was going on. He didn't stand next to her, sat right back there. And as soon as she said that she would, and I definitely did, he stood up, he said, I'm out. I ain't never seen nothing like that. He didn't go consult with her. He wanted to make sure the judge took him off and withdrew him. He was done. He was out. I was like, oh, she messed up then. Nothing. Verbal motion. He wasn't going back and typing up nothing, Lexi. He was like, I'm done. Did you make sure you take me off of this? Because I don't want no part of this mess. No part of this mess that she about to do. Because I done worked hard to get this deal. 15 years. And you already on because she got an interrogation video where she's actually saying in the interrogation, I hit him upside the head. She just wouldn't admit to the beheading of him. So, I mean, regardless of the fact, and you only get 15 years for doing that. Oh, she should have sucked that up and cried about that the night before. Yeah, he was done with her. He was done with her. I've never seen a lawyer do that. And even in the first case, when they found her guilty, you know how usually like you'll see the lawyers go next to their client and kind of console them, because this has been a long process and they kind of know them. Well, remember, the judge in that last one, she was like, look, this is not going to be a drawn out case. We are not waiting. I think they had to try this case within like 5 or 6 months, because this was a quick turnaround, guys. So it wasn't like these lawyers that she currently had on her case where she got convicted. They've had a case for a long time. But the judge made it a point like, look, we're not about to keep drawing this out. Like, the family deserves some type of justice. Didn't have no proof. No proof at all. Yeah. I am going to do the firefighters trial. I found some more documents on it, some more. So I'm going to piece that all together for us. So those people that don't really want to be in the Uvalde, and I'm probably pronouncing it wrong, trial with the kids, they can have something to actually watch tomorrow. So we can all hang out. I do understand that some people cannot take the emotional impact of it, but I still like seeing my crew and my gang. So we'll just kind of run 2 rooms so everybody can get some and hang out with each other. And I know that people kind of like flip flop through the rooms like Marilda do all the time. Flip flop, she got it on all her computers. So if you were watching that and you do want to continue to watch it, here is the link to go back over there, because we are still in live testimony. And I will have a separate room for people that want to enjoy something different versus to this trial, the Velarde trial tomorrow. Okay, guys? But I appreciate y'all hanging out over here to watch the sentencing, watch him mumble, because that's all he did was mumble. His testimony, and I will see you guys tomorrow in the fireman's trial if you decide to join. If not, then I'll see you over there in the Valley shooting trial. Okay.